we are back. I missed you guys so much. Of course, you know I'm your girl Nixie. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm just welcoming you with all the good vibes, the good energy, all the good stuff is here in this video. So today we're going to be talking about literally with everything going on in the world today right now with, you know, the pandemic and some people, you know, still staying indoors and everything like that. I know it's been harder also for me as well in the past couple months to deal with my anxiety and depression. So we're going to jump into that and we're going to talk a little bit about, you know, mental illnesses such as so just stay tuned. All right, so first we're going to talk about anxiety. So basically I'm just going to go off of the definition, which I just looked up off of Google. So the definition of anxiety is a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So basically, just anxiety is just you're thinking about a lot of things and you're not able to control them because you don't know what could possibly happen, and then it starts to, you know, mentally stimulate you to a point of where you kind of go a little haywire, and your anxiety leads to you kind of panicking and you feel jittery. That's usually how I feel when I have an anxiety attack. As I just feel jittery, I feel like I'm mentally shutting down. I feel like I just need to take a step back and breathe. That's usually my way of knowing that I'm having anxiety. So yeah, everyone, you know, you might not experience anxiety just like I do, but there, you know, everyone has their different ways of knowing that they're going through or could possibly be experiencing an anxiety attack, and it's completely normal for people to have anxiety. So do not think that you're sick. Don't think that you're alone in this, and like, because a lot of people literally think that, and it just I don't know why, because it's like we're ashamed to talk about it. It's like you don't want anyone to know that you have anxiety or that you have depression, or you deal with these things that go through your head that, you know, possibly make you a different person, and it doesn't. I personally think that having anxiety and depression makes you a better person because of the way that you deal and cope with it, as long as it's in a healthy manner. I will say that, as long as it's in a healthy manner and it's not in a way that's going to, you know, bring you down or possibly, you know, hurt yourself. So yeah, as long as you're dealing with a healthy manner and you're seeking help and trying to cope with it, I think that it can definitely make you into a better person. Okay, so when did I first start experiencing anxiety? I honestly can say it started in high school. I didn't really, I honestly cannot recall a time that I dealt with it when I was like going through like elementary or middle school or when I was younger. I honestly just remember when I was in high school. I think in high school that was when, you know, like when you're going through puberty and you're just trying to figure out like who am I? What do I enjoy? What should I be doing with my life? Like, I feel like high school, I took it very, very seriously, and it was in a way of where I kind of like, especially academically, and let me roll this back. So we gonna have a little story time, y'all. So yeah, honestly, I think it started in high school, and it's because just the way that I was raised, you know, that, you know, education is very important, you know, going off to college and getting into a good college and getting that education, going forth to, you know, whatever career path you want to take. And I think that is when, you know, when I got to high school and I also started dealing with, you know, other stuff like relationships and boyfriends and all that stuff, like it just became a lot for me. And I think that's when my anxiety started to hit, because it's just like, okay, so I'm trying to get into a good school, also, you know, tackle this, you know, relationship and deal with this that I'm dealing with, and also, you know, you got like other things that you want to do and other activities that you want to do when you're in high school, because of course you're a kid and you want to enjoy your life. So it's like, how do you do all these things and then put them all together so they can work and mesh well? Because then it's like, okay, you got to do homework, but you also got to study and pass these tests, and it was a lot in high school. It was a lot. And I was also going through a time in my life where I just didn't, I was a hot mess. let me not lie, I was a hot mess in high school. I honestly, I look back at that person that I was, and I'm just like, there was a lot of decisions that I made that I wish I could have taken back. There was a lot of, you know, people that I encountered that I wish I didn't, and it's just, it's all a growing process. That's how I look back at it. That's how I look back at it. But yeah, that's honestly when anxiety first started for me. It was just a lot going on, and I didn't know where I was going in life. I know I had to go to college. Main word, had to. Like, that's just how I was raised. Like, you have to go to college, you have to, get a degree and further your education and go into the whatever career you want to do. And so at that time I was just stressed out, and that stress led to anxiety. And honestly, it got worse as I got older, but to a point of where it depended on what was going on. So I think it first started as, okay, like school stuff, relationships when I was younger, and then it led into going on further on in life to, okay, like there's too much going on, there's too much in my head, there's too much that I have to get done, and then it would cause an anxiety attack. It's like the list of things. I'm one of those people where it's like, okay, I have everything in my head and I'm like, okay, I know what I need to do, but how do I execute it all? Like, how do I get all of this done? How do I make this happen? How do I make that happen? And so that would lead to me getting an anxiety attack. Also, sometimes too much going on, like not even like just in my head, but just in my environment, like too much going on will give me anxiety. Like if there's too many noises from too many different things, that'll hinder it. That'll trigger it. Trigger it. But yeah, it definitely started in high school. Yeah. So dealing with my anxiety when I first started to have it, I didn't really deal with it because I didn't know that I had anxiety. Like, I feel like a lot of people can relate to that. Like, you don't really realize that you have anxiety until you look back at it and you're just like, oh, like I literally had an anxiety attack at that time. Yeah, I didn't really deal with it. I kind of just, swept it under the table, kind of moved on to the next thing. And then, I lived my life, and then it happened again. And I'm just like, okay, here we go again. Like, it wasn't something that I really took seriously to where I wanted to know, like, how do I deal with this? And it wasn't until I got older and it started to actually like impact me in a way where I'm like, okay, I realize that there's something going on. I need to fix it. So yeah, that's basically where I got to a point of where I was just like, okay, now let's work on this. Let's figure out what's going on with me. And that's definitely a part of self-care and self-love, is wanting the best for yourself in order for you to grow and become a better person. Okay, so aging now, I'm 26 years old, dealing with anxiety. I know what triggers my anxiety, and I think that's the biggest thing that helps me control and cope with it. So when I feel my anxiety about to happen, I literally have to step back, but also if I'm with someone that might be causing my anxiety, I communicate that with them. I think that's the biggest thing, is to let a person know, because a lot of people, like, they don't know that they're doing something that might be triggering your anxiety. Like, especially if you're in a group of people and there's a lot going on, like that can literally trigger you at any moment in time. So it's like, you have to realize what works for you and what triggers you. I think that's definitely important. So yeah, when I realize that it's happening, I take a step back. I literally just have to be in a quiet area. I have to, just separate myself from the situation or the environment or whatever's going on. And even if I'm thinking too much, how I, cope with that is I write things down. If I have too much going on in my head, that can lead to an anxiety attack for me. So I literally have to write everything down, get it out of my brain, so that I'm like basically just unpacking everything in my head so it can go down on paper. And like, okay, so I see it now. I know what I gotta get done now. So it makes it a lot more easier for me to cope with my anxiety. I wanted to do some research to figure out ways that, help people cope with anxiety and deal with it and, just control it. I like to call it controlling, because I literally have control over everything that my body does. So why not control something that, most people think has like a control over them? So we're basically taking the power back for ourselves. That's why I like to call it control. But things that I do to control my anxiety is exercising. I enjoy doing that a lot, especially like when I'm feeling anxious. Working out. I think a lot of people can actually relate to this, is because a lot of people that work out, they do it to, decrease their stress levels, which stress can lead to anxiety. So it all kind of goes hand in hand. I color with my daughter, which is I know some people color even without children, so you know, like they have like their own little cute little coloring books and they color. I think it's honestly very stimulating. Like it allows your brain to not focus on everything else that's going on, but allows you to focus on the coloring and just staying. It's literally all mental, y'all. Like when I tell you it's all mental, I swear it is. What are the things that I searched? So other things that popped up was having alone time. Like I said, sometimes I need to separate myself from the situation or the environment. So having alone time is definitely sometimes needed. You just need a quiet room just to be by yourself and yeah, just mentally deload. Seriously. Talk with someone you trust. I definitely think that's a big thing because a lot of people don't think that other people have anxiety, and they definitely do. I know my best friend, like she has anxiety and we talk about it together. Like it's nice to have someone that you know that you're not going crazy. Like there's literally somebody out there that's experiencing and having the same, you know, situations as you and going through that same mental scramble in their brain. So it's just nice to talk to somebody about it. So if you don't have someone to talk to, find a therapist. Therapy is healthy. Don't listen to anybody that tells you that therapy is not good for you. Therapy is definitely just someone to talk to, someone that you can gain trust with, someone that you can express yourself to, that'll listen and just give you a good and healthy point of view back. So that's how I see therapy. So I definitely recommend it for anybody who feels alone, who feel like they have nobody to talk to. Therapy is definitely your option. Let me see here. What else did I find? Getting good sleep. That's definitely a good one. When you're not getting enough sleep is even more in your brain because, like, okay, you're getting a lot of stuff done. Yeah, but then it's like, okay, when do you have time to rest your brain? When do you have time to just sleep and close your brain off and not think about anything and, you know, start your next day on a good foot? I think lack of sleep leads to a lot of different things, and it also leads to depression too. But we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, definitely getting some good sleep is definitely important for you and your brain and your body overall. Like all of this stuff will affect you if you do not get good sleep. Another thing was to exercise, of course, was something that I do. If I don't like to exercise, you don't have to. You can find something else that works for you. That's just something that I enjoy doing. And also healthy eating. Y'all, when I tell y'all, actually, I can really relate to this, like, head on. So there are times, of course, in everybody's life where they just eat like crap. For me, it's usually around the time of my period, which happens like a week before my period even starts. I will eat like crap. And I know it's bad. And usually that is around the time where my emotions go haywire. It's like that on top of the PMS is not a good combination together. So what I've been trying to do is to eat healthier things when I know that my period is coming on. It's very hard, but I have to do it for me because I know that it helps with my, with my mental health. But yeah, definitely dealing with that and trying to, get everything in one. It's definitely important to eat healthier. You will see a big difference in your overall, just literally your overall self, the way that you think, the way that you process things in your brain. It will change completely when your eating improves. When you're loading your body with a whole bunch of crap, it doesn't help your body help you in any way, like no way, especially not your brain. Like your brain can't function correctly when you're loading all this crap into your body. So yeah, definitely eating healthier definitely helps. Let's jump into depression. So depression, when I looked it up on the Google, the definition is a mental condition characterized by feelings of severe despondency and dejection, typically also with feelings of inadequacy and guilt, often accompanied by lack of energy and disturbance of appetite and sleep. So I think that literally hits it on the head for me. Depression, for me, when I experience it, I kind of just, I go into a hole, literally. Like, I don't really want to talk to anybody. I don't want to be around anybody. I want to be by myself. And yes, I may be an introvert, but I'm still the type of person that, I want to be around people that I actually enjoy being around. So I will make that effort when it needs to be made. But when I'm depressed, I kind of just push everyone out of my like world basically, and it's not healthy at all. Like I won't, you know, communicate with friends or family. I won't eat. Like there are days where I'll just like it was worse when I was younger. My depression has gotten a lot better, but back when I was younger, I would literally just break down. Like I wouldn't eat, I wouldn't bathe. I would just stay in bed all day, or, you know, just I would just lay around everywhere basically. It wasn't a very active situation that I'd put myself into, and it's just because back then, once again, when I was younger, I didn't realize what I was going through. And it wasn't until, honestly, I was probably like, how old was I? I want to say 24? I'm 26 now, yeah. I think 23 or 24. That's when it like hit me, when I first went through a really bad depression. But yeah, it was kind of just like it was an eye opener. I'll say it like that, because I honestly didn't come out of that hole until someone brought it to my attention that I was going through that. Like I would literally, and that is why like sometimes you need people that come and check on you, like people that truly care about you, that come and check on you and bring you out of that hole when you have no, like when you just feel like you're alone, like you're just by yourself. Like depression is honestly when you feel like, okay, yes, you got a lot of people in your life, people love you, people adore you, people want to know you, but you feel like you're alone. That is how I can describe depression in one word. Just put together in a summary. That's how I can describe it. But yeah, honestly, when I came out of that depression, I knew that I needed to do something in order to help myself become better and to be able to once again cope with something else. All right, so how do I deal with my depression? Being that I'm older now, I can honestly say that I use working out as an outlet for a lot of things in my life. Anxiety is one, but also depression. Staying active for me, it makes me feel good. And honestly, I think depression, in order to get yourself out of that situation, sometimes you just need to go through it. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. Sometimes you just need to be, you know, by yourself for a little bit. But I don't think it should be so long to a point of where you've just been confined in your room for like 3 days with no food or nothing. Like that's just to a point of where it's insane. But I feel like you can be depressed for a little bit, but also know how to get yourself out of that thought process, if you guys know what I mean. I think some of you might. So for me, yeah, exercising is what keeps me going. It gives me happy endorphins. It gives me good feelings. It makes me feel good. It gives me energy to keep going on. Like when I'm eating like crap and I'm not working out, I feel like a completely different person. And that's usually what leads me into getting anxiety and depression, is when I'm not on my A game. I haven't experienced depression in, I want to say it's been since that time. I have not experienced depression since then. I experience anxiety still, but I think depression is something that I have more control over within myself, because I can feel when I'm going into a depression. And so I know what to do to get myself out of it. So it helps me to do it that way, if you put it that way. So find what works for you. Definitely, if something makes you more triggered to go into depression, then, you know, find a way to get yourself out of it. But I did do some research on things that you can do to cope with depression. So basically what it said was to stay connected with others. I put don't fall into a hole. Like I talked about before, when I fall into a depression, I call it falling into a hole. Literally just being by yourself. You know, don't do that to yourself. So stay connected with others. Ask people to check up on you. Have someone hold you accountable. Like if you know that you possibly feel yourself going down into a hole, just talk to somebody. Like talk to somebody that you trust, that you know, that you might know that has gone through the same thing as you, and just tell them, you know, I've been feeling down a little bit lately. Do you mind, you know, just texting me every now and then, or giving me a phone call, or or even FaceTiming for a few minutes, just to see someone's face, to smile, to get that feeling of happiness and emotion, to get yourself going. I think that's very, very, very important. Another thing to do is to do something that you enjoy or makes you feel happy. That's a big thing, which is why I work out. But find something that works for you, whether it's like walking or going bike riding, or, you know, going to the movies or something like that. Find something that makes you happy, that you know will bring you joy at the end of the day and might bring you out of possibly falling into depression. Let me see what else here. Like I said, take a walk, spend time with animals. That was on there as well when I researched it, and it's so funny because I've always had a love for animals. I have 2 cats, which they're literally my babies, and you know, when I feel like I'm just falling, you know, when I'm not even when I'm falling into a depression, even just like when I'm not feeling like myself that day, like I'm just feeling down, I'll just grab one of them and pet them. Sometimes they can feel when you just need a little something, like they'll just come up and curl up next to you. But yeah, it definitely helps to have animals. If you don't have animals, go to a pet store, hold some bunnies. Hey, you don't have to own them to touch them. There's lots of, you know, pet markets that will allow you to go in there and pick up animals and just caress them for a little bit. Or if you know that there's like an animal shelter nearby, just go on in, ask the pets and dogs. Like, it's really simple. It's basically, at the end of the day, I want you guys to be in your most healthiest mental state as possible. I have gone through anxiety and depression both, and you know, as I've grown, I've, you know, found ways to cope with it. And I hope that you guys, if you are struggling to find something that works for you, and if you keep going through these things and you're not able to find something that works for you, please go and talk to somebody. I think that's very, very, like, so stinking important, because people are there to support you. And you might think that you're by yourself, but you're seriously friggin' not. Like, you are allowed to feel certain emotions, but don't ever feel ashamed for feeling the way that you feel. Like, I want you guys to be happy and living your best life and being positive and loving. And honestly, me, like, what gets me really going is making other people smile and laugh. Like, that gets me going. So I honestly think that's something that makes me very, very happy, is to make other people happy. And if you're one of those people, you're good people, but it can also trigger you too. So, but yes, but yeah, guys, I want you to be your greatest version of yourself, and I want you to get that help if you need that help. If you guys need someone to talk to, please reach out to me. Like, I am literally here for y'all, because I know what it feels like to be alone. So definitely reach out to me. Let me know if you guys have any questions or concerns, or if you might be feeling some type of way and you need someone to bring you out of that. I'm here for y'all. But yeah, y'all, thank y'all for tuning in with me today. What's today? I don't know what day of the week it is, but I love you guys so much. It has been so rainy lately, and literally that has been my trigger to stay in the gym. Like, that has been getting me through this week of grossness outside. It's actually sunny outside. Very surprising, because it was raining like the past few days. But I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Please leave some comments down below. Also, like this video if you enjoyed it, and also subscribe to my channel if you want to see some more awesome content. Please let me know in the comments below what you guys would like to see me make videos about. There's a lot of things that, like, literally my brain has like a million thoughts of videos that I can make, but I want to know what you guys want to see. So let me know. I'll definitely be making a video about my flight attendant life soon. I just don't really know what exactly I want to talk about in it, so once I get to figure it out, I'll get you guys something, I promise. But yes, you guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys next time.